Hi guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing good and staying safe like always. If you're new here and you're about to take your first step into the field of modeling or even beauty pageants, then do consider subscribing to my channel because I post videos every week about these topics and I also take up questions from my subscribers in the comment section below. In today's episode of Modeling Tips, I'm going to be explaining the 4 different types of contracts that can exist between a model and a modeling agency. To catch up on what a modeling agency is and how they really work, don't forget to watch my previous videos in the same series. Now, in one of my previous videos, I did give you guys a brief overview of what the broad categories are of the different terms of agreement that a model can have with an agency. But when we talk about contracts, the first and most common type of contract that a model will have with an agency is called an exclusive contract. As the name is pretty self-explanatory, you understand that a model will exclusively work with that modeling agency and will not be allowed to book her own independent projects and is also not allowed to work with another agency as long as she is bound by contract. Now, key points to be kept in mind while signing a contract and reading it, first of all, is one, you have to negotiate and understand what percentage of commission is the agency going to take away from your pay cut. And usually in exclusive contracts, we have seen that it varies between 20% to 30%. Apart from the commission percentage, you also have to ensure what is the duration of that contract. Now, if you're a young model, it's possible that an agency will try to lock you in for more number of years. But if you're not 16, 17 or 18, and if you're somewhere in your 20s, the most common agreement that we have seen is somewhere between 1 to 2 years, and exclusive contracts will always come with a certain time duration. If you haven't heard about this before, Times Talent, which is under the Times organization, which also runs the pageants Femina Miss India and Miss Diva, as a part of that arrangement, every single Miss India contestant that is a finalist in the pageant, and same goes for Miss Diva finalists as well, will end up in a contract with the Times Talent team. Now, there are different types of contracts depending on whether you ended up winning or whether you were just a state finalist or a state winner, and the terms of those agreements have been changing constantly in the last couple of years. But all you need to know is that when you enter these pageants, you automatically become a part of the Times Talent agency as well, and they will ask you to sign that contract before you go ahead further in the competition. The second type of contract is a non-exclusive, or sometimes called a semi-exclusive contract with a modeling agency. This means that you are not restricted to only work with that agency, but you can be working with other agencies as well. So if you're a non-exclusive model for say one agency, it automatically implies that you're going to be a non-exclusive model for every other agency that you sign up with. The contract terms, percentage commission will have to be discussed and negotiated, and that is where a model's communication skills and her own sense of business comes into picture. If you're wondering why would a model work with different agencies, the most common reason for that sometimes is the different market that they cater to. For instance, you could be working with a Delhi-based agency for different types of campaigns, whereas you could be working with a Bangalore agency for very different types of e-commerce shoots. That is one very common situation that we see in the Indian market. Another reason for working with different agencies could be that one gives you modeling gigs, whereas the other gives you acting gigs. So that's also a possible difference because different agencies have different customer and client bases. And so they have their own expertise as to what type of projects do they usually book their models for. And this is why, as a model, you should do your research before approaching an agency to understand whether or not they will be able to get you work, because if they don't have the type of projects that you are looking for, you and the agency are not a good fit for each other. The third type of contract, which is usually seen in the case of international models when they are booked by a mother agency or a home agency, is called a mother agency contract. Now, this happens usually outside India, where we've seen that an international modeling agency, for instance in Germany, will book a German model for an Indian project through, for instance, Inega. That's an Indian modeling agency based out of Mumbai. And so if a German model is getting an Indian paid gig, she has to give her commission to both the mother agency in Germany. What mother agencies are usually doing for international models is that after every 6 to 10 months, they will put them in different countries. And so I've met a lot of international models who are working in India for these 6 months, then in China, then in Japan, and then back to India. And so that's the type of lifestyle that they have. And the last type of contract is a one-time contract. Now, a situation in which this will apply is when, say, a client has given an agency a requirement and they want a certain look for a model. That is when this usually comes up. So if the agency does not have any model in their talent pool who looks like the face that they are looking for, or if, for instance, they have very groomed models and the client has asked for someone with a really shaggy beard and messy hair, now in that case they might have to look outside of their agency and cast someone. So that's how they scout models, and sometimes the agencies will get in touch with model coordinators in order to ask them if they know anyone who fits these requirements. And so in that particular case, they will have a one-time contract with the model who finally gets signed for the job, and the percentage commission in this particular one-time contract can be a little lower than the exclusive contract because it's not a consistent income for the model that she or he is getting from the agency. So that is where you get your leverage to negotiate and only give, say, 10% or 15% commission from your pay cut. Another situation where this sometimes occurs, and that's pretty more frequent in the Indian market, is when a certain client does not want, say, a model for a job, but in fact an influencer, something that we are noticing happens quite frequently these days. Now, influencers who are not models are not going to be signed up with modeling agencies. However, they want that face of that person because they also add a lot of marketing value to the entire campaign. And so in that situation, the modeling agency will have a one-time contract with the certain celebrity or influencer who is booked for the gig. And so that's all for today's video, guys. I hope you guys found this super informative and that you feel better informed at the end of this video when it comes to your profession. And it's only when you are better informed that you are at lesser risk of falling for the wrong type of people or the wrong type of situations, because I want my YouTube family to be protected and safe and approach this industry, however unconventional, in the most professional and safest manner possible. As always, I love you guys so much, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye bye.